Hi ladies, this is a more complicated card, but nevertheless it's worth the effort that you put into it. This one I started making with the measurements all in inches, and if you want to contact me in the comments below, I can give you the inches later if you need it. Okay, so this was a sample done with the inches, and it's a beautiful stepper card. Simple front to it. It's quite a weighty card. And I say very pretty. This is some odd decoupage that I've used, and the verse starts at the beginning and goes on to the middle. Okay, so we'll look at that briefly at the end as well. This is a second one that I made with the inch measurements. I actually corresponded with a lady in Australia, and that's why I did it in inches to begin with. So this is our second one, and again I've just used some tattered lace die cuts, to decorate it. Okay, so let's have a look at making the card, and for the benefit of people in the UK generally, I am using centimetres. So simple instructions. If you stop the video every now and again while you make the card, that'll be a lot easier. So we start with an A4 piece of card, and we cut it to 29 by 20, and that's just taking a little smidge off the card. And the first thing we want to do is to do pencil lines across at 7.5 and 12.5. So here's my piece of card, and I've measured 12.5, 7.5 and 12.5, and on the front of the card I'm drawing a line. You won't see it very well, and in fact I think what I'll do is I'll do it in ink. Most of it gets covered up. That should be a lot easier for you to see. Most of it will be covered up, but if you've done it in pencil you can rub it out. Okay. So the next bit we're going to do is we're going to mark the centres, the top and the bottom, right, at 14.5. So I'm going to mark 14.5. And what we're going to do is we're going to score to the first line and score up to the second line. So we're going to take our scoreboard and we're scoring down to the first line and stop, and then we're taking our mark up to the second line and stop. Right, it's not going to show up very well, but we've gone top to bottom and bottom up. Right, now we have some markings to do. So concentrate first on marking 5, 8, 20, 23. And we want to mark it across the top and across the bottom. Okay, so we're going 5, 8, 20, 23. and along the bottom 5, 8, 20, 23. If we bring this back, the 5 and the 8 we're going to score up to this first line, and the 20 and the 23 we're coming up to this second line. So we're going to go 5 up to the first line, 8 to the first line, 20 to the second line, and 23 to the second line. Okay. Right, the last line we have to do, and there's a trick to this one, is we want to mark 11.5 centimetres along each horizontal line to score this centre panel. Now, the easiest way is to mark 11.5 there, 11.5 there, and I put 11.5 there. Now I could put my ruler down to score that centre panel, but what I can do now, because I've put this little notch there, if I put my score tool in there, I can go straight for that centre panel. Right, that is all of our scoring done. Now I'm going to put my board down, and we're going to be cutting. So on this first line, which was your 7.5, we're going to be cutting, let me bring that here, right, on the top line we're cutting between the first and the third score line, and on the second line we're going between the first and the third. Now it's not very easy for you to see on here, but we're going from there to there, so that's first, second, third, and on here we're doing first, second, third. Now I need to take my ruler, and if I work on this side I can see exactly where to start and where to finish. So I'm going down to this line, I can see my score lines, there we go. Okay, so very easy to actually work out which ones to do. These are valley folds and mountains, so we want valley fold to start, valley fold to start, valley fold to start. So if I do a valley fold on those two and just get it starting to go, then I want valley fold to start here, mountain, and if you just start them going, right, valley, mountain, valley, mountain, valley, just start them bending in the right direction, and then you can fold it over and it will go perfectly in half. You might need to just force it closed there and then just reinforce your folds. So then I tend to flick it over and reinforce the folds there. Okay, so let's get it the right way up with the small step to the left. Okay, so I'm going to flatten that down a little bit. Now, this is the bit that takes the time. Right. If I place that on there, And then what you can do is to stop your video, take a note of the measurements, and those are the panels that you need to do, and those measurements will allow you to add an extra little bit of a mat all the way around the outside. So this is the smallest measurement, and you can work your way out. So I'm going to try and keep that there if I can, and these pieces on here are the first ones to do. So I've already prepared my panels. So what I'm going to do now is apply double-sided. I didn't want you to have to see all my preparing the panels because most of you are well able to do that. This one's gone down just a bit too quick. So there's my first one. You will of course rub out your markings. This is my second one, and this is 4 by 19. Try and keep that there as much as I can. Right, this one is now fitting onto that panel. Right, we're going to go now for this 8.5 and 7.5 by 6.5. So I've got a bigger one and a smaller one. So I'm going to put this one onto there. Bigger one. You can of course leave, if you've done a nice patterned card underneath, you can leave some of these blank. But to show you, I'm doing them all. So we've done 6.5 by 8.5 and this one. Those fitted there. So now I'll slide it up and we're going to go for 6 by 4 and 7 by 4. And it's the 7 by 4 that I use generally to put a greeting on. So I've got my 6 by 4 and my 7 by 4. So I'm just going to put one on there. Place it into there. Into there. Right. One of the things that you'll notice is that if you cut strips of your matching card at 6.5, you can then chop them all into these bits. So one lot, one strip, and chop them up. One strip of 4 and chop it up. A strip of 2 and chop that up. It is very easy. So I'm going to come in now with this bit here. Doesn't matter what order you do these in. There we go. Right. You just go with that. Now we've got the 2 by 6.5. card really is worth the effort. And we've got 2 panels left, which is a 5.5 and a 4.5. So that goes that way round. What I should do later on, because I've had to do the marks on here so they'll show up for the video, I shall actually remove these panels and put them onto a proper card that you can't see the marks on. But for the purpose of showing you, it's a good way of doing it. Right, so there is our last panel. Okay, so that is it folding. And what we need to do now is to put 2 strips of tape there and 2 strips of tape there. Okay, flick it over. There we go. So make sure it's the right way up. And I've prepared a normal folded A5 card. Okay, here is my card, and I've decorated it with some flowers, a verse, and the little blue tip in the box. Okay, so I'm going to take this and slide it around until I get it nicely positioned in to my card, right into the crease, and then I fold it down. Turn it over, and I'm going to then move these bits. Hold it in position, fold this down, and there is my card. So let's open it. There are all my panels inside. So I took one hunky-dory decoupage and I split it up. So here is my decoupage, and what I've actually done is chopped some of these bits. So where it was perhaps a bigger decoupage, I just cut bits out. All right, you're restricted in the positioning of your panels. So this little bird here, I've chopped off the piece here because for him I am going to take that and I'm going to position him along the edge so he's looking in. Okay. The biggest piece I've got here, right, I'm going to put up on one of the bigger panels. So I'm going to take that. See, I've cheated and I've played around with the positioning, and I've just scribbled on the back where they fit best. So have a dry run, see where your pictures look best. There's the next one. So he's up there. Let's see what we've got written on here. And this is bottom, middle, right. So he's going to go in there. It's always as well to have a dry run before you commit to anything, and then you've got a chance to change it round. So he's going on there. Now I've just put this, so the top of his head has just gone above, but because that is not going to interfere, you can actually let it flow over the top. Right, take the next piece, and I haven't put anything on there, so we'll leave it. This is top right. So top right, going into that corner. This is side left, so that's going on to there. To there. This is small, tall, right near the top. So this is the small, tall panel on the right near the top. So there we go. And let's see what we've got here. Middle, bottom, left. So middle row, bottom, left. There we go. Now I had lots of extra bits left over, so I've got a nice motif there with a greeting, so that's going on my greeting panel with love. And I've also got little butterflies that just flew away. So I've got a blue butterfly and an orange butterfly. Orange one and a blue one, so I can fit those on. And that one decoupage picture, right, has filled my entire panels here because I've split them up. Okay, so there we go. Let me just tip those off a minute. So there is the outside of my card. Right, open it up, and obviously you can still see my marks here, but yours you'll be able to rub out. Okay, so that is how it goes together. I want to show you a couple more. One more that I prepared. Okay, so this again was a hunky-dory decoupage, and it was a pack of 2, so I've still got the dogs that were in the same pack. So we've got Someone Special with Love, and when we open it, there are all the cats. Okay, so if we take a look, this is part of the decoupage that I haven't used, and you can see how I've cut bits of the decoupage out to fill bits. So it didn't look that way when I had it, but yeah, just cutting it up. So here you can see I cut the cat off the top. This little kitten here I've cut off and used down here. This cat here that was lying down, it's gone here, and another bit up there. So you can see how to change your decoupage and use it very economically. Okay, so what I'm going to do is to bring back this panel, which is your important one, and I'm quite happy to send any instructions if you want a printed piece, but it's easy to watch the video through and just stop it whenever you need to see the instructions and the measurements for the panel. Okay, I do hope you have a go at making it because it is a beautiful card. God bless.